Good morning, educators. I hope you're having a wonderful time at the Delaware Math Equity Conference this year. I wish I could be there in person, but I hope to just take a few minutes of your time to talk to you about my background and what brought me to STEM. In this talk, I hope to cover two key points that I think are essential to building equity in STEM education. My name is Vere Archibald, and I am the site leader for the DuPont Experimental Station. This is a site that for 119 years along the Brandywine River has really been a home to many STEM practitioners in the state of Delaware and have brought products that have changed the world and enhanced how humans interact with the environment. I want to tell you a little bit about my personal story. I grew up on a very small island of only 68 square miles with a very low GDP per capita, about 1/10 that of the United States. And I was still able to make it from there with very limited resources to earn multiple degrees in chemical engineering, have a robust career as a practicing chemical engineer, making changes and impacting industries as far-ranging as inks to the semiconductors. Over the last year, I've transitioned to managing the site and still working in the STEM industry, putting down the infrastructure that allows our STEM practitioners to really make a difference. But how did I get there? When I think back on my early childhood, it really began with being allowed to be very, very curious. And I know some of you aren't going to want to hear this, but a lot of that curiosity started with comic books. I loved Spider-Man, Mrs. Marvel, Captain America, Mr. Fantastic, but Spider-Man was my favorite superhero. I was really enamored by how web shooters worked. The mechanics behind a web shooter, the pressure needed to hold the web fluid, how does it discharge, how do you get the adhesion to stick to a wall, how do you know that it's going to dissipate over a certain amount of time, how do you have the tensile strength to hold down the Goblin, Dr. Octopus, and the Croc. And quite frankly, the support of not only my parents, but my teachers helped me along this journey. What I realized is that no one ever answered the questions. They helped foster my curiosity and then asked me to go out and answer the questions. My mother gave me a chemistry set when I was about the 3rd grade, and I actually thought that I would be able to make web fluid with that chemistry set. Well, I'm sorry to say that to this point in my life, I still haven't developed any type of web fluid, but it really took me down the path. Should I be a chemist? Am I that interested in matter? Am I more interested in how to make the products that are designed by chemists in much larger quantities, which is why I'm a chemical engineer today. So I share this with you to ask you, when you're engaging with your kids, you may be strapped for resources, as I know many of you are, but it's really a matter of asking the questions, fostering that sense of curiosity, and helping to support those students even though they don't have the necessary resources that they may need. I was listening to a talk by Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he gave a brilliant question, a brilliant answer to a question. He was asked, what is the one question that you wish you could answer? And really, as scientists, that is all we're trying to do. Answer some fundamental questions about the way the physical world works. And his answer was that he wants to answer the question that has yet to be asked. And that is the level of curiosity that we need our next level of scientists and STEM practitioners to be asking, so that we can really tackle the problems that mankind will be facing as we go through the 21st century and into the 22nd. So I ask you, even though you may not have all the resources that you may need, maybe you might want to introduce a comic book to your class, particularly the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man, and my strong recommendations. The Incredible Hulk is also a good one. Bruce Banner was working with gamma radiation when he had an unfortunate accident. It didn't kill him, but it is a way of showing that there are dangers as well, but that his curiosity led to an interesting discovery. If you are not comfortable with comic books, I may also suggest something as simple as a nature walk. Have your students walk and interact with nature. This can help foster developing observational skills, which would be interesting and very useful for things like qualitative chemistry. Have your students write notes on what they have seen during their walks and what is happening in the natural world. These are all things that can be done with very little funds at any age and, quite frankly, in any socioeconomic situation. I hope that these few words help in your path as you continue to motivate and educate our students and help build the workforce of tomorrow. Thank you very much.